welcome everyone to Public Service and Employee Subcommittee. Today's March 21st, and we're anxious to get started. We've got a big calendar today. I'll call this meeting to order. The Public Service Subcommittee is now called to order, and Madam Secretary, would you please take our roll?
Representatives Alexander. Present. Dixie. Here. Eldridge. Here. Johnson. Here. Kiesling. Yes. Powers. Here. Chair Lady Rudder.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Do we have any personal orders or recognitions from any of our members today? Seeing none, we're going to get started on this calendar. Item number 1 is House Bill 1327 by Leader Camper. Do I have a motion and a second?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate you all.
I have a motion and a second. There's no amendments filed, so Leader Camper, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill we had as a placeholder in case we really needed to readdress redistricting, but since that's not the case, I'm going to take this bill off notice, Madam Chair, if the committee so oblige.
We oblige. Without objection, House Bill 1327 is off notice. Okay, item number 2, House Bill 1328 is also by Leader Camper. Do I have a motion and a second on this bill? I do. There's no amendments filed. Leader, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this bill is similar in nature. We thought maybe with what had transpired last year with redistricting, we might needed to be in a position to put something forward, but look like things are going okay with that. So we're going to move to take this off notice too, Madam Chair.
You're making my day.
By George.
Okay. Without objection, House Bill 1328 is also off notice. Thank you, Leader Camper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Deputy, for working with us with respect to this. I appreciate it.
Next up, we have item number 3, which is House Bill 300 by Chairman Zachary. He's not with us. I'm going to roll this one to the hill. Okay, let's see. Okay, that brings us to item number 4, which is House Bill 1365 by Chairman Farmer. There's Zachary. We'll just back up. Without objection, we'll hear item number 3, which is House Bill 300 by Chairman Zachary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the committee's permission, can we roll this to the first calendar of 2024?
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was easy.
Without objection, roll.
Thank you.
Y'all are cooperating with us today. I've noticed. Okay. Now then is Chairman Farmer, House Bill 1365 by Chairman Farmer. We'll roll this one to the hill. There he is. Without objection, we'll take up House Bill 1365 by Chairman Farmer. Do I have a motion and a second? You do have an amendment. Could you give me that drafting code?
Yes, ma'am. Looks like, make sure I apologize, I just walked down from the Criminal Justice Committee here. Looks like it's Amendment 2200.
6156 is what 61. I have.
Yeah, 6156, yes,
okay.
That's it.
Do we have a motion and a second on this amendment? We do. If there's no objections, let's go ahead and get this amendment on the bills. Is there any objections? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. And all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The amendment is on the bill, and Chairman, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Committee. I appreciate the indulgence. This bill is brought about the TBI. What it does is seeks to bring several statutes into compliance with FBI requirements, so that the impacted state agencies continue to receive national fingerprint-based criminal histories. Specifically, the bill addresses background checks completed at the request of the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Speaker of the House, Department of Human Services, state firefighter agencies. So that's what it does. Pretty plain and simple there. Brought to him by TBI. Sounds like we need it to keep things going, keep people safe. and just ask for approval.
Question's been called. Do we have any objections to the question? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee.
Okay, thank you so much.
Next up is item number 5, House Bill 1319 by Chairman Kumar. We have a motion and a second. And Chairman Kumar, I believe you have an amendment?
Yes, Madam Chair, it is code 6064.
6064 is what I have. Do we have a motion and a second? We do. If there's no objections, let's go ahead and get this amendment on the bills. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment's on the bill. And Chairman, would you please explain your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1319 is meant to honor our flags, the flags of the state of Tennessee and of the United States of America. These are symbols of our nation and our state, and they should be treated with respect and majesty. And this bill requires that only the flags of the United States and the flag of the state of Tennessee are to be on constant display on grounds and state-owned buildings, including educational institutions. To maintain respect for these flag and their majesty, other flags can be used according to the First Amendment rights as well as the clubs and societies that they belong to, but they will not be on constant display as these two flags will be. The flags of POWMIA, those protected by the First Amendment, and flags of the local institutions such as the local school or the university are exempted. They can be on constant display. And that is my hope in a bill.
Members, do we have any questions for Chairman Kumar? We do. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One thing, and I meant to ask you about this earlier and forgot, like will you have a place where you have a veterans memorial place? A lot of times you'll have a flag of every branch of service, and they fly them continuously for every branch. Will this restrict that flag at all, at those other flags for the other branches?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I think those are very deserving of our honor,
Okay.
and they should be.
Okay.
And they are in a place that they belong,
Okay.
certainly.
Thank
Any
you.
more
I will make
questions?
sure of that.
Any more questions? Representative Dixie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Lady. So I guess my question is for like those educational institutions that have more than one physical structure there. Is this supposed to be flown at every building on that campus?
That was the hope, but then I realized, gee, that can be too much. So it will be the campus of the particular institution.
Is that language in the bill?
It's not, but I plan to add it tomorrow, and I'll bring it over to.
You pinky promise? No, just,
Pinky promise.
I'm on record now.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you, really.
And that was my concern, that it could be a lot for institutions to have to fly one on each building on the campus.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any more questions? Questions been called. We're voting on House Bill 1319. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and you move on to full committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members, and thank you for trusting me.
Now we're on item number 6, which is House Bill 771 by Chairman Holtzclaw. We have a motion and a second. There are no amendments filed, and so, Chairman, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you. We're nice and cozy in here. I don't think I've ever been in front of this committee before.
You've been in this room?
Basically, HB, of course, you hear that 10,000 times, a pretty simple bill. 771 is basically asking the governor to request the Secretary of State to redesign our state seal to include the words "In God We Trust." And with that, I renew my motion.
Do we have any questions for our sponsor? question's been called. If there's no objections, then we're going to vote on House Bill 771. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? No. The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee. It was a simple bill. See
Yeah,
that?
thank you, committee.
With a big impact.
I didn't know this was Name Your Tune committee.
Item number 7, which is House Bill 707 by Chairman Doggett. I don't see him. I think he's hung up in another committee, so we're going to roll this one to the hill. Okay, we're on item number 8, which is House Bill 1135 by Representative Miller. Do I have a motion and a second? We have a
Thank
motion and a
you,
second.
Madam
and
Chair, lady, and members of the
Representative
committee.
Miller, I think you have an amendment.
Yes, I believe that's 5177, is that
That is
correct?
correct. Do we have a motion and a second on this amendment? We do. If there's no objections, you will go ahead and get that amendment on the bill. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? No. The ayes have it, and the amendment is on the bill. And Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, lady, and let me first apologize to members that I haven't had an opportunity to speak to prior to this committee. I did receive your cell numbers over the weekend, but I dared not to move toward doing that, calling you all. House Bill 1135. Madam Chair, lady, I don't know if you received any notification from Council on Pensions. However, I did go before Council on Pensions. And what happened in that particular meeting, I just wanted to bring you all up to date. After I made the presentation, Senator Watson made a motion for a negative recommendation, but he didn't receive a second. So after that, he was looking for a second. I started looking for a second because my understanding that in that particular committee, 9 out of 10 times, there's a negative motion. So after that, he asked the question, is there another motion? And Senator Page moved for a motion for a positive recommendation. And we waited for a few seconds, and there was not a second. So it became a question of where are we? Where are we? And my question, do we get a neutral or a non-action? But the senator quickly said, since we didn't get either or, we're going to motion for a negative. I left it at that, knowing I was going to come to a better committee. I hope. Anyway, 1135, let me start with a historic perspective on this. Effective November 8, 1988, the minimum allowance payable to the General Assembly members in the legacy plan was set at $70 per month for each year of service. And annually, July 1st, this amount is increased by the amount cost of living adjustments to members retired at least 12 months. So in 1988, that amount was $70. Today, with that base amount and the cost of living adjustment, 35 years, a $24.83 difference. And I try not to do numbers and math publicly. That usually get you in trouble. But just to repeat that, 1988 to today, 2023, 35 years, starting at 70. Today it's at 94.83, and that's a $24.83 increase. Let me move to the amendment. For members of the General Assembly who retired on and after November 5th, 2024, with 10 or more years of service, the minimum allowance provided by subsection B must not be less than $1,440, multiplies by the number of years of credible services. And in B, the beneficiaries of the benefits provided in subsection B5 may elect to receive an amount less than the amount that a beneficiary is otherwise eligible to receive. That the election is in writing and is irrevocable. With this amendment, we talk about what is equitable, what is fair, what is just, and what is sensible. And Madam Chair Lady, it's my understanding that we may have someone from the Treasurer's Office as well as Fiscal Review, if in fact we need to go into recess to talk about the numbers. So with that, Madam Chair, open for any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions for our sponsor? And do we need to hear from our guest? Chairman Powers?
So I'm gonna hit you with a math question that you don't want to, but in today's dollars, what would that be? That 70? I think you said $70 or whatever.
Correct.
In 1988, what would that be in today's dollars? What would the equivalent amount be?
I think, and someone smarter than I will have to correct me, it may be at $2.50 cents, if I'm correct about that. But
No, I'm sorry, the $70. If that was equal to, in today's dollars, would that be like $150 or whatever? What would that amount be? That $70 amount in 1988.
Well, in the amendment, what we've done, we've taken the $94,
Oh, okay.
and we've added the $24 difference between 88 and 2023. So we come up with the 120 to round that off.
Okay.
And that's just to kind of catch up over, I guess, the cost of living over the number of years.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any more questions? Chairman Johnson?
Representative Miller,
I was looking in that direction, Chairman.
do you have any figures on what the cost of living from just from 88? Do you have any figures on that? No.
I don't have any figures, but I can assure you that the cost of groceries and gas and all those other items, we have to pay those as well as anybody else, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't have the exact figures.
Okay. That's all, Madam Chair.
Any more Chairman Keesling?
At this time, thank you, Chair Lady. At this time, did you say we had some request for testimony?
We did.
I would ask for that at this time, and then I would like to come back.
and ask
Yeah,
for
if you
it.
know.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair Lady.
We do have a question before we go out of session. Representative Dixie?
Now, I was only a young man back in 1988. I just started driving, but I can attest, you talk about the cost of living. Gas was about 89 cents back then, so, and I'm sure eggs were not $3 a carton right now.
Okay.
So I would kind of just take that as a gauge. If gas was 89 cents and maybe 91, 92 might have been high at that point. And now we're at over $3, so I would kind of use it as a good gauge as the cost of living.
Okay, now we're going to go out of session, and we're going to bring up Jamie Wyman, Director of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement Systems, and Boyan Savick, the Director with Fiscal Review. Okay, members, do we have questions for these gentlemen? First of all, you will have three, well, no, you're not testifying, we're asking questions. Oh, okay. Does anybody have a question? Okay, Rebecca?
Thank you, Chair Lady.
Alexander?
That's good. Thank you. I just have a question, the way that the House amendment in front of us reads. It says, it requires that the members of the General Assembly who retire on or after November 5th with 10 or more years of service receive a minimum allowance of $1,440 multiplied by the number of years of credible service. Did it mean to say divided by? Because multiplied by would mean 10,000 some dollars. Is that an annual thing? Is it annually?
Please recognize yourself and tell us who you're with and.
Jamie Wayman, I'm the director of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System. That is $1,440 times 10 years, so it'd be $14,400 per year would be your annual benefit per year. So you divide that by 12 to get the monthly amount. But yes, it's that amount times your years of service is your annual benefit.
Annual benefit. Okay, it didn't say annual in here, so that was what was confusing. Thank you.
Any more questions? Yes, Chairman Keesling.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Jamie, do you all have a statement? Are you opposed to this? If you are, could you tell us why? Yeah. Am I wrong? Have I misunderstood?
No, I was here just to provide information.
Oh,
I
okay.
asked to comment and be neutral on the bill. It was
So you've deferred.
I'm just here for any information that you may have.
Okay, I misunderstood. Thank you, Chair Lady. That's all I have.
Do we have any more questions? Thank you both. Okay, Chairman Johnson.
Review. So this is the correct fiscal note we're looking at. Is that correct?
Boyan Savage, Fiscal Review Committee. Yes, the fiscal note with the increase in state expenditures of $2.3 million in fiscal year 23-24, and increase in federal expenditures of $682,000 is the correct version.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Thank you for being here. We'll go back into session. Do we have any questions for our sponsor? Yes. Representative Eldridge, you go right ahead.
Thank you, Chair Lady. My one concern here on this bill is your Senate sponsor. How? Yeah. Is Senator Nicely on? I mean, he's on board with this.
Well, he's the sponsor of the bill. And matter of fact, I think the bill was in committee today, state government in the Senate, but they had such a large calendar, so they didn't get to it. At this point. But I asked him, I met with him earlier, do you need any help? Let me come over to the Senate and work with you. But just
thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any closing remarks?
as I said, pretty self-explanatory. It's something that's equitable. It's fair. It's just. And I would hope that this committee will further the conversation by advancing it.
Okay. Question's been called. We're ready to vote. All in favor of House Bill 1135, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed, say no. No. The ayes have it, and you move on to full committee. Item number 9, House Bill 13 by Representative Baum has been taken off notice. Item number 10 is House Bill 1517 by Representative Shaw. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second, and Representative Shaw, I believe we have an amendment on your bill.
We do, Madam Chair, and that number is, the drafting code is 005700.
That is the same amendment number that I have.
And it makes the bill.
And it makes the bill. So do we have, if there's no objections, let's go ahead and get this amendment. Oh, we do need a motion and a second on this amendment. Do I have that? A motion and a second? Thank you. With no objections, we'll go ahead and get this amendment on there. I've got the motion and the second. I'm in good posture. All those signify by putting this amendment on the bill, signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. And the amendment is on the bill. And Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope this is the most easiest one I've had today. It will allow the Megasite Authority to distribute pilot money to either local governments or industrial development boards or corporations. We have a situation in my district. Blue Oval is coming, and they want to, the Megasite Board want to be able to distribute the money actually to the county commission, who will give it to the industrial board to oversee the whole county rather than just in the city of Brownsville. That's what the amendment does. With that, I would renew my motion pending questions.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Are we ready to vote on House Bill 1517? Questions been called. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and your bill moves on to full committee, and it looks like you had an easy time in this committee.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate that at the end of the day.
You're welcome. Item number 11, House Bill 718 by Representative Sparks. We're going to roll this one to the hill. Item number 12, which is House Bill 350 by Representative Hardaway, has been taken off notice. Item number 13, House Bill 1521, also by Representative Hardaway, has been taken off notice. Item number 14, House Bill 1523, also by Representative Hardaway, has been taken off notice. I see that Representative Sparks has entered the building, so we'll roll back to, without objection, we'll roll back to item number 11. You have a item number 11, House Bill 718 by Representative Sparks. Did I hear a motion in a second? Okay. You have an amendment on this bill?
Well, I just want to speak on it. Then I'm going to take it off notice, if that's okay, Chairman.
We need to put the amendment on it because it's a caption.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You want to give me your
2426.
Okay,
is that
you
correct?
have a motion and a second, so we'll go ahead and put that amendment on the bill. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, in the amendments on the bill. So you're recognized to explain your bill.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I know y'all have got a lengthy calendar. I'll make it quick. Well, this is something we've been, reference-based pricing, House Bill 718 is a caption. My healthcare consultant could not make it in. That's why we're moving it to next year's calendar by taking it off notice. We had a task force study this past summer on reference-based pricing. We think that there is a lot of merit here with reference-based pricing. TASR, the study, echoed our concerns with it. And as we know, the cost of health care is a concern for many in this state. Medical bills for procedures have increased drastically. The number one reason for bankruptcy is health care cost. What I'm trying to propose to the speaker may sound like a Hail Mary pass, but you may have heard me talk about Mark Cuban. He's got a new company called Mark Cuban Cost Plus RX. He's kind of disrupting the system in a good way. And it's pretty fascinating. I think he's doing it, one, from an entrepreneurial perspective, but two, from an altruistic perspective, that he really truly wants to help people. That's what we're after with this reference-based pricing. We think we could cut costs in this state. My healthcare gentleman, Ralph Weber, believes that we're overpaying by millions of dollars with our state health care plan. We've got, Ralph's wrote a couple of books. The latest one is called Rigged, Why Insurance Ruined Healthcare. And lawmakers that have been up here a while may remember Newt Gingrich and Ralph and others being on a panel down here at the Howard Baker Center. Ralph was one of their speakers. If you just Google Ralph Weber, a company called MetaBid, the guy is phenomenal when it comes to healthcare. Reference-based pricing has been incorporated in Montana. California has a hybrid policy. And what I propose to Speaker is if we could do some kind of a healthcare summit and see if we couldn't get folks like Ralph Weber and Mark Cuban to come in. I know Representative Bob Freeman said I couldn't get him, so we're gonna have to put a wager on it. I'm gonna try, but I appreciate y'all's indulgence with working with me on this piece of legislation. Look forward to next year with y'all, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So House Bill 718 by Representative Sparks has been taken off notice. That takes us to item number 15, which is House Bill 1462 by Representative Towns. We're going to roll this one to the hill. Item number 16, House Bill 1463 is also by Representative Hill. Oh my Lord, I'm talking about the Hill. I'm really wanting to get through this calendar. This is by Representative Towns, and we're rolling it to the Hill. Okay, that brings us to item number 17, House Bill 547 by Representative Harris. I see he is here. Do we have a motion and a second? Motion and a second, okay. And you have an amendment.
Thank you, Chairman. And so I do have an amendment. However, there's another amendment that I'm waiting for the Senate sponsor to bring. So I'm going to ask to roll this for 1 week.
You want to roll this for 1 week?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Without objection? You got, okay. We're going to get, first of all, we're going to roll House Bill 547 1 week. Also, on item number 18, which is House Bill 1392, we have Representative Harris. And do I have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. And you do have an amendment?
I do have an amendment, Chairman, and so I am also waiting on the Senate sponsor to bring that second amendment as well.
So you want to roll this one for 1 week? 1 week?
Yes.
We're going to roll this one for 1 week. Without objection, we're rolling House Bill 1392 for 1 week. Thank you. Next up, we have House Bill 19, which is, we have item number 19, which is House Bill 1024 by Representative Butler. Do we have a motion and a second? Second? You do have an amendment on your bill. Could you give me that drafting code?
Yes, ma'am. It is 6067.
Yes, sir. Do we have a motion and a second on this amendment? Well, if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and get the amendment on the bill. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The amendment's on the bill. And Representative, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Well, as most of you are probably aware, there have been monuments and historical markers and so forth that have been taken down without the approval or consent of the Historical Commission. And so what this bill does is provides a $10,000 a day fine for any monument or memorial that's taken down without the permission or consent of the historical monument, or without the consent of the Tennessee Historical Association, or potentially in the next bill I've got, we'll create a commission that would address these particular issues with their sole purpose. So the fine would be paid into a historical preservation fund, which would go to preserve monuments and so forth like that, and to preserve our history. And so they would be paid by the city or the entity that took it down without the permission of either one of these organizations. And so I'll renew my motion with that, and we'll stand for any questions.
Yes, Representative Dixie.
What's the current punishment now?
You're recognized.
Or is there current punishment?
That I'm aware of, there is not.
Any more questions? Are we ready to? Yes, go ahead. We're going to go out of session.
Thank you, Matt Money from Legal. I was just, can you guys hear me?
No. I mean, I can, but I can't.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That's a short end. This is from the Tennessee Heritage Protection Act in 41412. Public entity that violates a provision of this section by doing these sorts of things that we're talking about is precluded from entering into grant contracts administered by the Commission and the Department of Economic and Community Development for a period of 5 years from the date upon which a violation determination is made. So it looks to me like what they're subject to right now is the loss of grant funds from ECD.
Okay, and that could be more than, that could be substantial, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Madam Chair, I think while I don't know if it was one of my colleagues. No, I think one of my colleagues had mentioned while we're out of session. I don't know if there was anyone here that wanted to speak on this. While we're out of session.
We do have 2 people on our list. Is there a Mr. James Turner? Yes, sir. You want to come up? And we also have Ed Butler. Ed Phillips.
I think there's.
Do we have any questions? Now, do we have any questions for? Yes, you're here to speak on the bill for the
yes, ma'am.
representative.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I am James
So,
Turner.
and please identify yourself and tell us who you're with.
I am James Turner. I am with Sons of Confederate Veterans, Government Relations, and I am here in favor of this bill.
Yes, and so you're going to have 3 minutes to speak on your bill. And I think you are here at the request of Representative Butler.
Yes, ma'am, that is
Okay.
correct. Basically, what this bill does is put a distinct punitive damage against a city or governmental agency that removes a memorial or monument before receiving permission. We've not seen that happen much, but it has been at least a case in West Tennessee. And what we have seen is these governmental entities basically follow the law. And this is just basically a very strong encouragement to do that. The removal of grant money is a good thing, but a punitive damage would actually be a stronger encouragement to follow the code as the legislature intended, and that's why that I'm for it. Certain states do have damages, such as Alabama, already in place in their code. And that's really all that we're asking, just to put some damages in there to encourage any governments to follow the code and I guess the intent for what it was passed. Thank you.
And thank you. And do we have any questions? Chairman Kiesling?
Thank you, Madam Chair. James, if this language passes, let's revisit the Memphis event.
Yes, sir.
There, you know, I'm just wondering, would this have prevented that from occurring? If this were in statute at that time?
If this were in statute, it's my opinion that it actually would not.
It would not?
It would not because of the way that Memphis, they transferred ownership so that it was not a governmental entity. So that was a little bit of a legal ploy that happened in Memphis. So I think my opinion on that is that it would not. The Heritage Act basically, I think, was strengthened a little bit after that, but it probably would not have stopped what happened in Memphis, to be honest.
Interesting. So then if we get this in statute, then again, any community could replicate what Memphis did, and this isn't really going to stop it, then, is it?
Well, in Memphis, they had...
In your opinion, please.
Yes, sir. In my opinion, Memphis had the ability to transfer ownership of an entire piece of property away. What this would do, in effect, it's basically, as an example, Metro Nashville would not transfer the entirety of Centennial Park, or Jackson County, Tennessee would not transfer the entirety of their courthouse lawn and property to another organization or another entity. So in most cases, I believe this would actually take care of the situation.
Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah. Could
You want to hear from?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Chair Lady, could we could I defer to legal for a comment or opinion there, please?
So what happened in Memphis was, this thing act up again? Can you hear me? Okay. What happened in Memphis was I believe they sold the park to a nonprofit, and then they transferred the memorial to a storage unit in the middle of the night, if I remember my fact correctly. That was permissible at the time because we couldn't do anything about the sale of the property because Memphis owned the property. Since then, they've amended the Tennessee Heritage Protection Act to where you have to petition the commission to transfer historical property now. So that's the manner in which they closed the loophole, but they didn't add any kind of penalties per se like this bill is trying to accomplish.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, and I appreciate it. That's all I have, Madam
That's all you
Chair.
have?
Yeah.
Is any more questions while we're out of session? Thank you for joining us today. We do have Horace Tipton with TDEC. He is a TDEC liaison, and we would like to hear from him.
Thank you. Horace Tipton, I'm a legislative liaison with the Department of Environment and Conservation. Our understanding of the way this bill would function and our primary issue with it is, of course, there is the waiver process under the Heritage Protection Act under current law. This bill creates a standalone provision that would be separate from the waiver process and would essentially allow somebody to go through that entire process and still be subject to the penalties created by the bill. Now, I've spoken with the sponsor, and I understand that that is not the intent of the legislation, but like I say, it's kind of where we're at on it right now, and that is our problems with it as written. So,
Chairman Johnson.
Do you think if the bill was amended?
Yes, sir. I think there may be a way to amend it, and like I say, Representative has committed to working with us on that over the next week.
All right, thank you.
Anyone have any more questions? Seeing none, thank you. And we'll go back into session. Representative Butler, do you have any closing remarks?
I don't. I'd be glad to answer any other questions. We have worked with TDEC today and had a good conversation about potentially just clarifying that so that there was not any ambiguity with that. The intention is not to penalize somebody that has been through the process and received approval. That doesn't really make sense. It'd be no different than driving down the road and getting a speeding ticket if you weren't driving on the road. So we don't want to punish somebody that's followed the rules.
I think we do have another question from Chairman Johnson.
Did you talk with TDEC about a possible amendment?
Yes. Yeah, we've talked about just clearing that up. It's just a little bit ambiguous. That was not the intent of the bill.
Well, our last calendar's next week,
Yes.
so do you want to roll it a week and get the amendment on?
I'd rather roll it to full and then amend it, if you're asking my
Well,
opinion.
We're supposed to take care of that here. Is that right, Mr. Chairman?
Is that,
You-
did you make a motion that we're going to
I'm not
roll
opposed
this?
to rolling it. It's a clarification, and really in the way it's written is just clarifying that it doesn't punish somebody that's followed the process. And it's not clear in there, but and so.
But,
You're recognized, Chairman.
thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Butler, let's roll that. It can make, I'll make a motion. You know we're with you on this. But anyway, let's do that, and if I can get a second here.
Without objection, we do have a motion and a second. We're going to vote to roll House Bill 1024 1 week. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and we're going to roll your bill for 1 week.
Thank y'all.
Okay,
Got another one.
we have item number 20, which is House Bill 1025, also by Representative Butler. Do we have a motion and a second on? There are no amendments filed, so so you're recognized to explain your bill, Representative Butler.
So this bill right here creates the Tennessee Monument and Memorial Commission. And so to kind of go back and piggyback with 1024, this creates a separate commission that is made up of, or would be made up of 9 members appointed by the governor, lieutenant governor, and the Speaker of the House from the 3 geographic regions of Tennessee, one coming from each appointment from each region. And their sole purpose would be to address these waivers and to not bog down the Tennessee Historical Commission with all these waivers that are coming in. And so their sole purpose would be dedicated to this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention, we did talk to TDEC about this bill as well, and they're neutral. They did ask about some staffing, how we would staff that from a staffing standpoint. And I think the Tennessee Historical Commission, if I'm not mistaken, has 20-something, am I telling that right? About 20-something? Yeah. 20-something employees that work with that commission. And so there's maybe some logistics that need to be figured out from that standpoint. But this would create its own entity. None of these members would be paid, so this is not going to really cost anything. Yes, I see you've got a question. Chair lady.
So are you finished with your explanation?
Yes, I'll take a question.
Representative Alexander.
It actually wasn't a question.
Oh,
It was a comment saying that I've spoken with some of the people in my community that are on the Historical Commission, and they love this bill. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Representative Eldridge.
I noticed the gentleman from TDEC back here shaking his head, and I just wonder what he's shaking his head
Okay.
concerning.
Well, without objection, we'll go out of session and invite Mr. Horace back up with TDEC.
Horace Tipton, Legislative Liaison, Department of Environment and Conservation. To clarify on what Representative Butler said, we do have concerns with the bill as written right now. I do think that there is, again, a way to amend the bill. I don't have that language worked out yet. The concerns that he expressed, that he stated are the ones that we've expressed, are with the new commission, there would need to be administrative staff to run it. There is a significant administrative burden with the waiver process. Some of that would need to be fleshed out. So that's some of what we're working on there.
Any questions? Chairman Keesley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you really think it could be worked out? Honestly, look at me. Honestly, and truly. You really do?
Yes, sir. My attorneys are working on an amendment right now. And yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that's
did you
all I
have
got.
something?
That's all I got.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Horace.
Any more questions? Commissioner Tipton? Thank you. We'll go back into session. Do we have any more questions? Yes, Representative Dixon.
I know you said that there wasn't a fiscal note to it, but if you're going to set up a commission and they have to travel, are they going to be reimbursed for their travel to attend the meetings?
Sure.
You're recognized.
The bill states that they are not paid, but they can be reimbursed for travel, and I think that's considered an insignificant cost.
It's amazing how that definition wavers so much. But, all right, thank you.
Representative Eldridge, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, given that they're working on the previous bill to amend it, and there's possibility of amending this one, I'd like to make a motion that we roll this one 1 week as well.
We have a motion and a second to roll House Bill 1025 for 1 week. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and we're going to roll your bill for 1 week.
Thank you, committee.
Item number 21, House Bill 694 by Representative Fritz has been taken off notice. Item number 22, House Bill 975 by Representative Glenn has been rolled for 1 week. Item number 23, House Bill 1473 by Representative Hakeem has been rolled for 1 week. Item number 24 by House, and which is House Bill 1208 by Representative Dixie. Do I have a motion and a second? And you have an amendment on your bill. Could you give me that drafting code?
I wasn't ready for that. Hold on. It is 005765.
That's correct. Do we have a motion and a second on the amendment? Let's go ahead and get that amendment on the bill. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The amendment is on the bill, and would you please explain your bill to us?
I filed this bill, which will require peace officers across Tennessee to carry personal liability insurance as a condition of their employment. Well, I have been planning, and I had filed this bill. I believe that given the events, especially what's happening in Tennessee with Kyrie Nichols, it happened in Memphis, and afraid that it could happen again. And this is more of a safety issue and an economic bill, because I think that at the end of the day, taxpayers are paying for the illegal actions of a few, and we should not have to carry that burden. And I understand that there are some reservations with the cost of this, and I think it's been estimated about $1,200 a year. But I think we should all have to invest in ourselves and our profession in order to get this done. But I understand there's some angst and heartache among this. But I think this does protect us as citizens from the lawsuits that's going to come when these things eventually happen again, which we hope that they don't happen again. But this would help protect us and take the burden off of the taxpayer and put it back on the offender who's doing these acts. But Madam Chair, saying that, I really appreciate you giving me time to say something. I appreciate the first and the second, but I would like to take it off notice at this time.
Without objection, we will take House Bill 1208 off notice. That brings us to item number 24, which is House Bill 1322 by Chairman Kiesling. We need a motion and a second.
Thank you.
You have no
thank you, Chair Lady, and thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. House Bill 1322 requires the Office of Open Records Counsel, in coordination with the Departments of Safety, and revenue to develop and maintain a system to track bulk purchases. Now, that's bulk purchases of public records containing personal info from state motor vehicle records and authorized for release under present law. And there's a list of that what the tracking system must include, and we can go into that. I'll be glad to do that. But I'm to tell you the truth, and to be perfectly honest with you, fellow members, I'm really the messenger. I've had very little communication with this. The folks brought me this, but I'll entertain any questions though at this time.
Do we have any,
Chair Lady?
We have any questions for Chairman Keesling?
And Chair Lady, if we, of course, I don't know if we have. I know Elizabeth is here from safety in case, but I don't think she's on record to speak. So she isn't. So. That matter. Again, I'll entertain any questions.
Have any questions? Okay, are we ready to vote? So all of those in favor of House Bill 1322, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think the ayes. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're asleep. We're going to be in recess for 1 minute. There he is.
We got 20 seconds before we can.
It may. I'm not going to go through that. Set it right here. So, let's check the floor for anything else, I found a cell phone.
We're back in session.
Glasses.
Okay, we're on item number 8, which is House Bill 707 by Chairman Doggett. Did I say 8? It's item number 7, House Bill 707 by Chairman Doggett. Do we have a motion and a second? We do, and you have an amendment on your bill.
Yes, Chair Lady, and I would like to start by saying thank you, and I apologize for having you all wait on me. I had a bill in my committee it was the first bill on the calendar, and we just moved it. So thank you for waiting on me. I'm very sorry, and I hope to be brief, but the amendment code is 3495.
That's correct. Do we have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. Without objection, we're going to vote on this and putting this amendment on the bill. Please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment's on the bill. Please explain your bill.
Thank you so much. So what we're doing is trying to help with the recruitment and retention of law enforcement officers, both locally and on the state level. And so we're increasing the training supplement for post-certified officers from $800 to $1,200 per year. Now, there's some things that they have to go through, complete their 40-hour in-service training each year in order to be eligible for that training supplement. Secondly, we're going to create an enhanced bridge benefit program and the local current bridge that would stay in place that's currently there for the locals. It creates an option for the local government to opt in. The bridge benefit extends until age 67 when Social Security will step in. And it also removing the mandatory retirement age from 60 to 65. Thirdly, we're going to increase the benefit improvement percentages under the legacy and hybrid plans for law enforcement. The current multiplier is around 1.575 for the legacy and 1% for the hybrid. The new proposed multiplier would be roughly 1.8% on the legacy and 1.2% on the hybrid. The current bridge would also convert to the new bridge for state employees, state law enforcement officers such as the TBI, Highway Patrol, the ABC, and the TWRA. Locals could opt in and pay for the enhanced or regular bridge under this proposed changes that we have. And with that, I stand ready for any questions.
Do we have any questions for Chairman Duggan? Chairman Keesling.
Thank you, Chair Lady. How serious, and I know when it comes, you mentioned TBI, and I want to go back. I just want to touch on that. And of course, we have a president with us right now at the moment. But how serious are they staff-wise? Are they are we in need of? We're in need of these increases, aren't we? Considerably, particularly at the.
I recognize.
Well, thank you. What this is the retirement benefits. And so we want to make sure that we're able to keep our law enforcement officers that we have,
Sure.
Currently state level and locals. And what we see is a lot of times these border counties, we have folks that are coming in, they're going through our training academies, and then they're leaving and going to other states because of the retirement benefits. And so this is something we've been working on now for 2 years. There was a task force that was put together, and this was actually studied in the fall for several months. Many different agencies and departments were represented on this task force, and these are kind of the recommendations that come out of that study. Looking at the multiplier, looking at the mandatory retirement age, moving that, giving locals an option that they could opt into this. We didn't want to mandate this on the locals because it does have a cost to it. But giving the locals an opportunity to say, hey, if we can afford to do this to help retain and even recruit folks to come in and work in law enforcement, that's what we want to do. We didn't want to leave the state out. I couldn't in good conscience drive into this parking garage every day and see the troopers that wave at us when we come in and leave them out. Same with the TBI, the TWRA, all these folks that are state law enforcement officers. And hopefully we didn't leave anyone out, but that was our intent, was to include them and give them an opportunity to see an enhancement in their retirement as well.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I commend you on this, as you guys spent a lot of time on it and a lot of focus, and I really do. I appreciate all that participated over the summer for this. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sponsor. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman.
Next
Thank you, Chair Lady.
You're welcome. We have Chairman Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noticed on Council on Pensions, you got a negative recommendation.
He just had to point that out.
I don't know that I've ever seen a positive recommendation come out of there. But I will say this, they all voted aye, but they were voting for a negative recommendation. That's right. So at least they make you feel good, kind of.
Representative Alexander, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, sponsor. One of the questions you mentioned, the task force that was done in the fall, and one of the things that came out of that was that the park rangers also needed to be in the bridge program as well. Did you include them in your list? I didn't hear them included, but I just want to make sure our state park rangers are included in it. Because I know you said you didn't want to forget anyone.
Right.
And it may not be included yet because that bill may still be going through everything, but if not, then
I will check in on that and get back with you with that.
I just don't want anyone left out. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Are we ready to vote? Questions have been called. All in favor of House Bill oh, no, I'm on House Bill 707. Please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and you move on to full committee.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. That completes our calendar. Oh, we've got one more.
What happened to the cell phone?
Okay, we have a little more business to take care of today. That's item number 15, which is House Bill 1462 by Representative Towns. We're going to roll that for 1 week. Also, item number 16, which is House Bill 1463 by Representative Towns, and we're going to roll that one for 1 week. Now, we're at the end of our calendar, and without objection, I would like a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.